one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3.
Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing would admit to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Yep.
The mind controls everything.
Yep.
And right now, and I said it at the time, Skip, we can get through a lot of things if we know we got support. He didn't get the support that he needed in Philly. He needed Doc to back him. He needed Joel Embiid to back him. It would have been nice if the fans backed him, but the fans are going to be fans. I don't have a problem with the fans. But within that locker room, Skip, he needed that support. And when he didn't get it, Skip, I say, Skip, it's over. I can read his body language and how he was and how he is. And he knows, Skip, he feels that he let his team down. And he's going to have to compartmentalize because there's a lot of people that go through things. Skip, you and I, hey, everybody sees you and I debating and everybody just, everything is hunky-dory. Skip, no, there's a lot of, you don't know a lot of times that Shannon Sharp go home and because he compartmentalized things going through something. Went through a breakup about 16 months ago, Skip. Man, it's wearing on me.
This is news to me.
Yeah, I know it, Skip. It's news to a lot of people. But as I told her, the mind replays what the heart can't delete.
Yep.
And right now, Ben Simmons' mind can't delete. It replays over and over Atlanta. That layup, Skip, not taking the shot, it broke his heart.
It did.
That those guys.
I got a problem, family. And it's not as much of a problem as it is, what would you call this? I'm bothered. I'm bothered a little bit. Much like when I'm bothered by like the stupid shit that Kanye continuously say or do when he get a camera pointed at him. Much like I am with a lot of different people who I done talked about on the show who, you know, are just dumbasses. You know, not too bright individuals. Well, this ain't really that type of individual, but I have talked about this individual a couple times on the show. And I guess I'm talking about him again. This, for one, I hate when I see somebody smoke a blunt. This ain't got nothing to do with what I'm finna say. I just saw this. When I see somebody smoke a blunt and they let the ash just build up like they don't ash the blunt, that is very bothersome. Even if you smoking like a cigar or something. I don't smoke cigars or cigarettes and stuff like that, so I wouldn't know when it come to those. But, bro, ash whatever you are smoking, bro. To continuously smoke something when it's got like an inch long worth of ash connected to the back of it that for some ungodly reason won't fall off. That's ridiculous. But that's not what we're here for. This, you know, we're gonna talk about a lot in this show. Let me give you a little breakdown of what we're gonna be talking about in this show. I'm not going to tell you the first thing we're going to talk about because I'm going to just get into the first thing we talk about when we do. But we do got some things to talk about. Might go over the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts and Pat Mahomes, the Kyrie Irving trade. We definitely going to spend a lot of time talking about that. Next moves for Kevin Durant. It's a big NBA show because coincidentally, I told you, I don't watch the NBA, and I have not watched the NBA until the football season is over. The first game I watch of every NBA season in the last couple years since Kobe retired is the All-Star game. That's the first game I watch every season. The first game I used to watch every season in the NBA was the first game Kobe would play. So the Lakers' first game, if Kobe was playing, I was watching it, which was usually a yearly routine for me while Kobe was playing. When he stopped playing, as much as I love Steph Curry and watching him play, I did not start watching them. Like, I would not start watching them when the season started. I start watching them when the football season ended. The NFL season ended. So, coincidentally, I told you that my first time, when I start watching the basketball season, it's the All-Star break. The Super Bowl happened on Sunday, and then the All-Star break is next Sunday. All-Star weekend is next Sunday. So, what a life. But listen, we got to have a conversation. Stephen A. Smith, bro. This, it's really not shocking to me at this point that I'm not going to say two of the worst, because I do think Stephen A. is good at his job. Certain things at his job he's great at. I don't find Skip Bayless to be good at his job at all. I find him to be an irritant, an aggravator, somebody who is far too biased to be having this type of job. But that's what people want, so it is what it is. It's very funny to me that these two find themselves in headlines all the time, and they used to work together. It's so funny. But I was watching. Oh, okay. So we finna get into this Stephen A. J. Williams thing, but I'm not gonna forget that. One thing that I might end up forgetting that I want to talk about right now is JJ Redick. I like JJ Redick, but JJ Redick did something the other night that really irritated the hell out of me. He, Jalen Rose, Stephen A. Smith, and I think it was Greeny. They was all on NBA Countdown or whatever that show is, NBA Tip Off that come on before the game come on. And they were all sitting down talking about the Kyrie Irving trade when he requested a trade last Friday. And everybody talking about it and whatnot. And when JJ Redick came around, when it was his turn, he said, I'll talk about Kyrie when Kyrie actually get traded. I want to talk about this Warriors team. And I understand some people will look at that and say, oh, JJ, the only one who want to do his job. He the only one focusing on his job. Kyrie requesting a trade is a part of his job. JJ Redick did not just shift the conversation back to the topic that they're supposed to talk about, because it's ridiculous and remedial to think they have to talk about a certain topic. That's for one. When the group is talking about something, that's what we all talking about. That's how you interact in your own social groups. When you with your friends, your brothers, your sisters, when y'all all talking about something, one person don't just come into the conversation and switch the entire conversation when everybody else is talking about one thing. That's not how it works. JJ Redick on national TV, in my opinion, showed up his partners, because that's what they are, his teammates in that moment. He showed them up by doing what he did, saying what he said. I like that Jalen Rose immediately went back to the conversation and, I'm going to talk about Kyrie. Because JJ, right there, that moment that you just did, I don't know if you just irritated with Kyrie or if you just really bought into this media persona that the fans put on you. And you are great at your job, but listen, bro. When you start folding for the fans, pandering to the fans, that's hella irritating. I understand you might be sitting back on Twitter, listening to Twitter idiots talk about some, bruh, stay on topic, talk about the Warriors. Or maybe you just really wanted to talk about the Warriors. Either way, there is a time and a place. Specifically, there would have been a time to talk about the Warriors. They was going to get to that. The breaking news of the day was Kyrie. To say what you said or do what you did, and I don't want to try to make it sound like he shot somebody and nothing like that, but to be as rude as JJ was in that moment, because I think what JJ did was rude. To try to, it almost felt like the conversation is beneath me. I'm not talking about this right now. I'm getting back. Like, no, my boy, you don't got that type. You not him in that way to be doing that. And this ain't like, so as much as I like JJ, that was a little bit of a See, I couldn't. This is why I'm still growing as a individual. Because see, me, I'm almost certain I would have done what JJ Redick did. But sometimes there are times in my brain, in my mind, in my mental, where I know I need to stay calm, but everything in my mental just say, nah, we going off the hinges today. We're going off the hinges. And I don't like doing that because, for one, I fight a lot. I don't like to fight no more. Unless it's like I'm training or something. Like, I do not like fighting people. I try to live a very happy, peaceful lifestyle. I try not to, cause problems. But I probably would have had a problem with JJ Redick in that moment. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, bro, we're gonna get to the Warriors after we talk about this. Like, calm down, my boy. Don't be disrespectful. Like, dropping the bar, I'll talk about that one. Like, no, bro, you don't have that option. We talking about that right now. This ain't the JJ Redick show, 3 old man and a 3. This is ESPN's NBA tip-off, my boy. That's my only thing with JJ Redick. But now, to get into the topic again, Stephen A. Smith. What an interesting individual. I'm gonna tell you what's funny. Stephen A. I really do think Stephen A. think he say, talk, and do what's best or say best for black people. I really think he believe that he trying to help black men and things of that nature. But I truly believe that Stephen A. Smith is a black man in appearance alone. I'm not going to say he ain't never done nothing for black people. That'd be ridiculous. But what he portrays on TV every day is a problem. I mean, it just is what it is. And that's why him and Jay Williams consistently getting into it with each other. Like, I don't know why people think seeing motherfuckers argue on TV is entertaining. I don't find it entertaining looking at motherfuckers get argue on national television or on podcasts and all. I don't really watch podcasts. Like, I can't name one podcast that I watch. Maybe I watch a show like the Pat McAfee show that some people call a podcast, but I don't call that a podcast. I truly think a podcast is motherfuckers just sitting down, talking in the mics. That's it. Like, it's nothing else going on the show. It's just a whole bunch of talking. And I understand a lot of shows is talking, but a lot of the podcasts have been turned into podcasts that you think is shows that are really just podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand right now, this is more of a podcast than a show, even though I call it a show, because I know my plans. This ain't never going to go down the podcast road where it's just a podcast. It seemed like that right now. People who already have grown their brands and things like that, who still operate their shows like podcasts, you know what I'm saying? Those are podcasts. Now, I don't watch a lot of podcasts. Why do I not watch a lot of podcasts? Because I think people say a lot of ridiculous shit in these podcasts. A lot of people is trying to say the next crazy thing so that people can watch their videos. A lot of these celebrities, I don't even know why they do as many podcasts as they do, because they don't need it. I guess they just want to, when you make so much money, I guess you see that opportunity to make YouTube money also. But listen, I do hate that some of these rich people get on YouTube to make videos to saturate the market. That's just how the rich stay rich. But nonetheless, we're not here to talk about that. This Stephen A, this thing where people argue and people find that entertaining, like Shannon and Skip, Stephen A and Jay Williams, because this ain't the first time them two done got into it. It's just so many different levels of argument. It's just so many different times I see people arguing on these shows and on podcasts and on, not podcasts, but on shows, on TV and things. I don't enjoy that. Like, I'll see clips on Twitter of people showing podcasts, people arguing with each other. And I'm just not into that. Like, I don't like watching people argue and bitch with each other and shit like that. Like, that's irritating. And the people who like that type of thing, y'all must be addicted to reality shows or something like that. I realized at an early age, I'm not a fan of reality television. The stage drama and the excessive drama, the heightened drama, bro, is just ridiculous, bro. People living their lives like that is ridiculous. I don't know how you can go through 2 years, let alone a lifetime, consistently in that type of drama and you not just go insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole head would probably be gray hairs if I had to deal with some of the shit that most people go through or put themselves through in as far as drama. But I want to talk about Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams. Like I said, I don't like watching people get into it on a TV show. One thing I don't like more than what arguing on shows with two people, castmates. And I understand some people like, oh, well, this is showing the realism in the show and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but most of these things can be avoided. My thing with this Stephen A. Smith, Jay Will thing is, and I couldn't tell you if I'm a huge Jay Williams fan or not. I don't really listen to Jay Will that much. Actually, I do. I KJ and Max or KJM. It's weird to say that. But Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max show, the NBA shows, Get Up, First Take. I done seen Jay Will for a long time, for many years at this point in time. I wouldn't tell you that I'm like the biggest Jay Will fan or anything like that, though. I don't got nothing against Jay Will aside from the fact that he played for Duke, and I'm a UNC fan. But other than that, I wouldn't tell you that I have a problem with Jay Will. So I'm not trying to defend Jay Will. When I was listening to Jay Will this morning talk about the Kyrie situation, I could see, especially when he was on Get Up, I could see how the shit he was saying could have felt like he was being hyper protective of Kyrie and not holding Kyrie to any type of responsibility. And I'll touch on that in a minute. But this thing with Stephen A. Smith, where him and Jay Will consistently go at it about Kyrie, because they feel like they always go at it when they talk about Kyrie. I really think it's a problem. Not necessarily a problem, but the problem with it, because it is a problem, actually, them arguing on TV. Nobody want to see that shit. At least I don't. But the bigger problem in this situation to me is Stephen A. and his hyper aggressive feelings toward Kyrie. I understand if you question Kyrie playing and all those type of things. But everything that you say about Kyrie is a shit ton of other players in multiple leagues that Stephen A. cover that he don't cover with the same aggressiveness. It just is what it is. And then Jay Will telling him that you didn't have this type of energy for Jerry Jones when you saw that picture. You don't have this type of energy for Dana White when he slapped his wife. You don't never had this type of energy for white men when they fuck up. But when black men fuck up, especially black men that you done figured you already don't like, or that you already feel like you at war against, you just constantly go hard. And maybe in Stephen A.'s head that this shit just don't translate to him. Like he never feel this as he taking shots at black men. He just being fair in his mind. But that's when I say you so far gone that you can't even step back and realize, bro, you do go at Kyrie way too hard. Listen, I'm the first one to tell you. Would I pay Kyrie with some of the antics he done pulled in the last couple years as far as just not showing up to play? No. Because the biggest part of a sports usually is availability. If I can't trust you to be available to play, and it's also going side and side with availability and trust. If I can't trust you and you never available, why would I pay you? Jay Will not acknowledging that and consistently going back to, well, who would ever put a thing in the contract where if you got to win a championship, you got to, that's a ridiculous thing. I agree. Putting in a stipulation in my contract that I have to win a championship in order to get paid this amount that's ridiculous. As far as my contract, that should be incentives, not even incentives. That should just be bonuses. Like if I win a championship, here bonus money added onto the contract. None of my money in my contract, my guaranteed money, should be tied to winning a chip. That's ridiculous. In any sport, I would say that's ridiculous. So I get what Jay Will was saying in that moment. But the problem with Jay Will in the moment is he centered in on that one thing and he made that his whole thing. So if people was looking at Jay Will and having a problem with Jay Will, then that would be the one, because people would look at Jay Will and say, yeah, we understand what you're saying about the contract, but you completely ignoring all the other things Kyrie done put the Nets through over the last couple of years. And to that, I would say that is a fair point to Jay Will. Jay Will done become so hyper focused in that one part of that contract that he is just ignoring all the other things that Kyrie has done. However, I agree with Jay Will when he look at things as if, bro, you got to know how to separate some of these things that Kyrie did. Kyrie with the anti-Semitic stuff. Bro, he retweeted a movie. He didn't even think what he was doing was anti-Semitic. And if you listen to the man talk, he's not an anti-Semitic. He don't have anti-Semitic views. The man is truly a young black man searching for himself in America. Now, I understand that's not something that a lot of people going to be able to understand. And when I say a lot of people, I do not just mean white people. As a matter of fact, white people probably do understand a young black man trying to go find himself in America as much as they like it or don't like it. The problem is when it comes to black people not understanding another black man trying to find himself in America, because So many black people is cool with conforming to the status quo of today's society. I see so many black people that's in love with the white man. And I'm not saying that to be racist. I'm saying that they so in love with a white man, they have no sympathy, empathy, or care in the world for their own people. Once you a black person and you start seeing black people as just handouts, always complaining about something because you as a black man or a black woman feel like you greater than that, i.e. Kanye, Candace Owens, those two dipshits, then now we have a problem. That's not Kanye. I mean, that's not Kyrie. That's Kanye. So I get this Kyrie and Jay Will's not his unwillingness to go full on at Kyrie, because I'm not going hard at Kyrie. I love Kyrie. I think Kyrie is a very educated brother who continuously is trying to educate himself, who understand who he is or is trying to understand who he is. And I truly don't believe Kyrie mean no harm. Now, it's a side of people that's going to have problems with Kyrie saying we don't need a coach. Basketball is like a job to him. And all these other type of things that Kyrie done, not showing up and he went because he went to a birthday or something. Not getting the vaccine, which is also something I'm not going to have a problem with. That man didn't want to put something in his body that he wasn't safe with. Yeah, that's his body. Why would I get mad because he didn't get vaccine? And that was one of my problems when the vaccination was going on. I wish I wasn't as lazy at that time. I wasn't even lazy. I was just working a lot. So I didn't even think to myself. No, I did. I've been thinking about making this for a long time, a show. I just, for some reason, didn't act on it. But I remember during COVID thinking to myself, wow, it's crazy how many people, just sticking to the sports side of things, it's crazy how many people want to see sports so bad that they willing to say, I don't give a damn about this athlete's personal choices and whatnot. Just take the vaccination so we can have sports back. That's insane that people started to think like that. But when push come to shove, I done started to learn Americans show you their worst. Because the abortion laws, why in the fuck would you ever make it so that women cannot go freely get abortions under their own choice, free will? Why would you ever mess with that? And then my problem is it's always white men that's messing with shit like that. And don't let these old coon ass black men slip through the cracks. The old black men is still doing the bidding for white men. I don't want to let them slip through the cracks. Please don't think I forgot about them coons either. But this thing of hating somebody for the personal choices they make with their body, I'm never gonna rock with that. It just is what it is. I'm gonna always feel like women is their body, their right. They're going to always be, in my eyes, be able to do whatever the fuck they want to with their body. Whether they want to have an abortion, have a baby. It don't matter. And I hate it how some people look at this as, oh, you killing a life. Well, do your research. It's not a life at a certain point. It's after a certain point that baby become fully formed in the life. So do your research for one. Two, I hate it when men come in and say, and I wasn't even going to be talking about this. I don't know how this, but I'm glad I'm here. I hate it when dudes talk about bro, you shouldn't be killing another baby in your body. Bro, you don't know if that woman was raped and got pregnant through that. You don't know if that woman got pregnant by a not shit dude and she trying to eliminate the pregnancy before she know what this turned into. It's a lot of women out there who had the opportunities to get abortions and instead they was stupid enough to think that the not shit dude that they had a child with was going to stick around. And now 2-3 babies later, they single moms stressed out. And I hate to say it, wishing they had aborted one of them because the baby daddy not there to take care of them. Now, obviously, you love your kids when they here and whatnot, but these is human beings. I hate it when people act like single moms is not human beings. Listen, I talk a lot of shit about single moms. Like, I wouldn't date a single mom. Like, I wouldn't marry a single mom because I'm not dealing with somebody else's kids. I don't have, I don't want to deal. It's just not, I'm not at that level. It's like, I'm not dating a woman with 3 kids, 2 kids, folk. Like, it's not happening. However, I understand what single mom. I got a lot of homegirls as single moms. I grew up with a lot of girls who I know now, women. My apologies, women. A lot of the women who I went to school with, I just, grew up around, damn near all of them pregnant or have already had children. Matter of fact, let me not say pregnant. If they pregnant right now, this is probably their 3rd, 4th pregnancy. All of them got 1, 2, 3, 1. All of them got 2 to 3 to 4 kids right now. And they still in their in their late 20s, about to hit their early 30s, like about to just now hit their 30s. That's a tough way to live. That's a tough way to live. And when you listen, sometimes you just, when you guarded growing up as a woman, you gonna fall for the stupid shit that men say. I know a lot of women done fell for dumb shit that I say. It's just the reality of it. It's the nature of the beast. If you one of those people, and listen, we all make mistakes. You lay down with a dude, you don't have, you let him fuck you raw. I just think it's funny that women let not shit dudes fuck them raw. Like, that's all I'm saying. But nonetheless, and I'm not saying that because I think like I'm not shit. Women done let me do that. So I just think it's funny. But I'm too focused on like, bro, you're not about to slow down my life. And having to pay child support, dealing with this and all that, that's going to ruin my life as currently is. So I was able to not make that decision. But if a woman had to make that decision with her body, knowing that, this dude is definitely not finna help raise this child. I'm already struggling living with my parents or paying a high rent where I'm living. I can't afford another child. I don't think people realize how expensive children are. I can't afford a child, so let me abort this before it become a child. I got why would I ever have a problem with that? Just like, why would I ever have a problem with Kyrie saying, I don't trust this vaccine? I ain't getting it. I didn't get the vaccine. I literally did not get, I never thought I was going to get it. Never thought about getting it. Never considered getting it. When everybody was talking about it and shaming people who didn't get it, I did not give a damn because I'm securing myself. People talking shit don't change my way of thinking. It just make me realize who they are. That's why when I see people get online and somebody might say something that go against somebody's way of thinking or logic with a fact, like somebody will give them, and then they'll reply with something very aggressive and ignorant. They'll call them a name. Anytime somebody don't agree with somebody, the person who said the first thing that is now being disagreed with, he usually, and I say he because this dudes do it a lot, they usually follow it up with some aggressive ass trait, especially on the internet. And you got to understand, most of the dudes on the internet that respond with these ridiculous, ignorant responses can't fight to save their life, probably weigh 100 pounds soaking wet. And the dudes that's huge probably can't fight. So, I still remember that video on Twitter where the police officer, that black coon ass police officer, he was like threatening motherfuckers or something, like saying who wanted to see him just because he was big. And a lot of people in the comment section was like, this dude think just being big mean you can fight. And then boxers started to tell him, all right, fight me. And then he turned that down. Whoa, Cooney. You can't have that type of bravery when you think you about to fight regular human beings because of how big you think you is. But when a professional boxer want to fight your goofy ass, now it's, oh, no. Oh, that's interesting. But we done got so far off topic. Listen, bringing this bad boy back in to Kyrie. So I don't have a problem with Jay Will not going as hard on Kyrie as some people. Because I think Stephen A., to be quite frank with you, has been a dickhead towards Kyrie. It's one of the things that I just can't for the life of me understand is, do he not know he could call Kyrie or go have a sit down, hit one of Kyrie's reps to, if he really felt the way he feel about Kyrie? Because to me, it's very clear that Stephen A. had hold some type of problem with Kyrie. I don't think he liked Kyrie. That's the energy I get. But as much as I've been talking about Kyrie, my biggest problem wasn't even how Stephen A. treat Kyrie or talk about Kyrie. My biggest problem is how he talks and treats Jay Will. He talk and treat Jay Will at times when they arguing like Jay Will is beneath him. And I don't like that. And I don't like that Jay Will feel like he got to hold back because I'm on your show, Stephen A. I don't like that. And when Jay Will saying things is true, or where he's just giving his point of view, and then Stephen A. start getting disrespectful, that's just, see, I don't know. It's dudes like Stephen A., human beings like Stephen A., who are so, I don't want to say outspoken, because I think the meaning of outspokenness done got lost in translation. Everybody who talks stupid is outspoken. Somebody who got as much energy and passion in the things that they say and yell a shit ton like Stephen A. It's hard for me to sit down as somebody who don't do a lot of yelling, if ever. Like, I might get loud to cheer or to show excitement. It's very rare that I'm yelling. Back in the day when I was doing a lot of the yelling shit at sports events and shit, losing my voice, I noticed I don't like losing my voice. Also, I just don't like yelling. I don't like getting my voice to a certain octave unless I'm high as a kite. But it would be hard for me to sit down with Stephen A. Smith and listen to him yell his points back at me like, bruh, you yelling is not getting the point across no clearer. The hyper aggressiveness in the word changes, some of the word selections that you done use, some of the phrases that you done use to trigger me. That's all it's doing. It's triggering me. It's not getting the point across no cleaner. I wish, and that's what's funny, because Stephen A, I can't remember if I ever saw him talk to Skip Bayless or some of these other white dudes that's on the show with him, the way he talked to Jay Will at times, the way he'll go at, hey, I just don't like it. I do not like it. And so I truly do understand the people who go around saying Stephen A. Smith a coon. Do I think Stephen A. Smith a coon? I'm still trying to figure that out. I am truly still trying to figure that out. Stephen A. Smith got to be one of the most mixed bagged individuals I have probably ever seen in my lifetime. Because I do think most of the things he do is for the white man. But I don't want to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd say a lot of good things. But listen, actions and words is two different things. If I'm Jay Will, though, Jay Will is going to stay employed, whether it be by ESPN or some other company. It's only a certain amount of times I'm finna have this conversation with you where I'm going to stay respectful. Because every single time Jay Will and Stephen A. Smith get into these little things, it feel like Stephen A. Smith always find a way to get disrespectful. Not nowhere near as how Skip do, but it always seemed like Stephen A. know how to hit that subtle disrespect bar, which is something that older men know how to do very well. And if I'm Jay Will, bro, I played the game. And I understand me playing the game don't mean I know everything about the game. But what you're not finna do is sit here and disrespect me as if I'm a dumbass. That's one. Two, why just because I feel the way I feel, am I wrong? And because you feel the way you feel, you're right. This ain't no factual situation. If we going over the certain things that Kyrie done that we can legitimately point to as things that hurt a team that have nothing to do with nothing but Kyrie's attitude in the team. Missing games because you decided to go to a birthday party. That's tangible. You can bring that to me. Kyrie not getting vaccinated is not tangible. And Stephen A. Smith having a feeling towards Kyrie about dad and all these other type of things is ridiculous. Kyrie is more in tune with himself than Stephen A. is. Stephen A. just rich and got a platform to talk a lot. And because he done been so big for so long, now people deem what he say as important. Now listen, I done got on here and defended Stephen A. on different occasions, especially against the baseball community. Because for some reason, baseball people want to go to ESPN and they want to watch First Take. Somehow they miss every time he talk about baseball. But when he do talk about it, the only thing I ever hear is how much he wrong on baseball. Oh, Stephen A. this. Y'all tried to call the man racist for what he said about Ohtani. Because he said Ohtani won't translate in America as well as another athlete who speak English, which was a very easy thing to understand what he was saying. Nothing was racist in that. But the hypersensitivity in America, which I think is very funny that a lot of the hypersensitive people in America is white. That's very funny to me that every time I pull up a thread, it's a whole bunch of white people that don't like something. That's very interesting to me. Woke white America. But nonetheless, and also, one thing I would like to say is white people, fight your own battles. All right. When y'all secure in battles, like don't think black people is offended by everything, because I'm starting to realize there's a lot of white people out there who want to say that black people is offended by everything to have a problem. Like, oh, black people offended by this. Oh, black people. Bro, worry about yourself. All right. Unless you're trying to help us move progression forward with black people, you're trying to help us, do something positive. Worry about yourself. If you hate black people that much, where every time you hear something, it's all like, just, hey, live in your bubble. All right. Live in your bubble. Now, back to Stephen A. and Jay Will. Do this make good TV? Not to me. Like, I understand like I said before, I understand this is a thing that people get off on, but when I'm trying to watch a sports show, I didn't think I was tuning in to see arguing with the fucking Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm tuning in to watch about some fucking sports, but It's neither here nor there. Kyrie seemed to have that type of effect on Stephen A. Smith. And I think that's a problem when another man had that type of effect on you, that you completely lose your shit and start getting disrespectful. It's like Brady with Skip. It's wild, man. They might need to put them two motherfuckers back together. But if I'm Jay Will, I'm gonna have a conversation with this motherfucker. He like to call him Jefe. Yeah. I'm finna call you Punto, because you really starting to piss me off with how disrespectful and how the sneak dissing and say what you gonna say then, Jay. Bro, you know good and damn well I can't say what I want to say on this fucking show, bro. So stop testing me, bro. Stop pushing my gangster, bro. Stop pushing me to that limit, bro. I mean, cause listen, you push me to the limit, then it really ain't my motherfucking fault, dog. That's all I'm saying. That's what Jay Will should be approaching. Now, listen, I'm not approaching this as Jay Will should try to fight the man, but I'm never going to sit back and tell another man be okay with another grown-ass man disrespecting you. Just like I would never sit back and tell another grown-ass woman be okay with another grown-ass woman disrespecting you. I tell kids don't let other kids disrespect them all the time. So that's not me telling you to fight somebody. That's me saying understand who you are and have some respect for yourself. Jay Will know what he talking about. If you confident in the things that you are saying, and I like what Jay Will say, there's some things I want to say about you. That's a fact. And Stephen A continuing to try to egg him on. Well, say what you gotta say, Jay. Bro, if I'm Jay, I would say, bro, shut up. Shut up. Like straight up. Like shut up, bro. You do not intimidate me. You don't scare me. Yeah, you got your show and you the face of ESPN. That don't mean nothing to me. My checks still come in all the same. So, interesting situation with Stephen A and Jay Will. I wish ESPN would stop putting these two motherfuckers on the same show, but ESPN is addicted to having motherfuckers always arguing. They are. It just is what it is. If Maria Taylor didn't leave ESPN, they would have put her and Rachel Nichols in the same motherfucking room like 2 months after the thing went down between them two. Even though Rachel didn't do nothing wrong, it was really ESPN. ESPN is not shit when it comes to that. I can see that. ESPN, more than they would like to tell you, is a reality TV show. There's people there who do a great job at their jobs. But then, you know, ESPN do this shit where they like to put people who clearly don't like each other together. Like, this shit don't make sense to me. And a lot of these television shows do it, but it's different between Undisputed keeping Skip and Shannon together. They are on the show. They are the stars of the show. Jay Will is not a part of First Take. He is just like a guest that come on here and there. You literally do not have to put Jay Will on the show because nobody gonna ask where is Jay Will. Yet and still, they do it. And then they plug the Kyrie topic, knowing every time these motherfuckers talk about it, they get into it. That's just ridiculous. I got a homeboy. Every time I don't talk to him about sports no more because I think he hypersensitive about sports. He ain't never gonna admit it. But if y'all could sit down and listen to some of the conversations we done had, you would agree. He don't like Steph Curry. I got a lot of homies who don't like Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry. As a matter of fact, the majority of my homeboys I don't know why I just called them homeboys. A majority of my homies don't fuck with Steph Curry because they haters or they LeBron fans. This specific dude, I don't know if he a Bron fan or not. I got one homie who more like a brother. That motherfucker love Chris Paul. So I don't never talk. And I like Chris Paul too, but Chris Paul not better than Curry. But I can't sit around and have this conversation with him because I know how hypersensitive and how he gonna act when I start having that conversation. But this is also a motherfucker who don't like losing at nothing. Like he get hyper. He start acting ridiculous when he losing at anything. So this is the worst nigga to be. Boy. Apologies. This the worst dude to be around when you beating him at anything or anytime you don't agree with who the people he like. I also feel like he like underdogs to put himself through this type of hell. Nonetheless, when I something in my throat. Nonetheless, when I like Steph Curry, a whole lot of my homies don't. So I don't talk about Steph Curry with them because I know it's going to end in an argument, not a debate, in an argument, because they're going to start using things that are not factual. They'll start creating scenarios. Oh, well, if this dude had a played and if this dude didn't get hurt. As if that don't happen in every single championship every year in every sport. This is a game of attrition in every single sport we play or they play. Everybody get hurt all the time. People get hurt. Athletes get hurt all the time. Athletes miss games all the time. Different type of situations happen to make a team that's this good, not so good all the time. I don't see nobody constantly complaining about how Steph Curry and them boys lost a ring because they had Clay and KD out. Instead, people use that against Steph. So when I'm talking Steph and these arguments start to turn into all of these what ifs, shoulda, couldas, hyper scenarios, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I know what Steph Curry is in my brain. I'm not talking about this. It's like, I don't argue Kobe Bryant with people, but I became that way a very long time ago. That's one of the athletes. That's a person who I will never sit down and have an argument with anybody about, oh, is Kobe this? Is Kobe? Kobe is the GOAT to me because that's who I watch. That's who I grew up idolizing. So it's nothing nobody can say about Kobe. I'm not going to say that won't bother me, but that will change my way of thinking on Kobe. So because of that, I'm not finna sit down with motherfuckers who hate Kobe trying to convince them to like him. That's ridiculous. I understand everybody in this world want to be a teacher. I don't strive to be that. They don't get paid enough. So if you like something and you feel a certain way about it, don't let people kill your joy. Love it. Like it. And don't tell nobody about it. Even if you do tell people about it, let that be as far as it go. I'm not arguing Curry with people. So I'm not sitting down having this a way to avoid having this argument with people is to not even sit down and have a conversation with Curry at all, about Curry at all. To not ever bring up Curry at all. We talk about basketball. I just talk about the players that I know they like. Now, I don't talk with a whole lot of my homeboys nowadays about this type of thing because I don't like being forced to talk about a certain player that I might not want to talk about. But unlike Jay Redick, I don't in the middle of the conversation say, yeah, we could talk about this dude, but I don't really care about talking about him. I'm going to talk about Steph Curry. I don't do that because that's hella rude and disrespectful. And that's showing up my homies if we was being broadcast or something like that. So I don't pull a JJ Redick when we don't want to talk about motherfuckers. When I don't want to talk about a certain motherfucker that everybody else talking about. If everybody else talking about Giannis, I'm going to talk about Giannis. I love Giannis, by the way. But if everybody else talking about JJ Redick and I don't want to talk about JJ Redick, I'm going to suck it up and talk about JJ Redick. I'm not finna just randomly come in and be like, bro, why the fuck is we talking about JJ Redick, bro? I want to talk about, nah, it's not about to happen. Now, that is a real line that will happen in the midst of 10 minutes in talking about JJ Redick. Like, bro, how the fuck did we start talking about JJ Redick, my boy? But JJ was a dog at Duke. You know, I'm not going to disrespect Redick. But Redick, be better, my boy. But to close this video out, to close the show out tonight, I want to talk about Kyrie now and what he will be for Dallas. I know I briefly touched on that in the previous video, but I didn't really touch on it too much. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks got that much better by adding Kyrie. And I'm still trying to piece this together in my head. Like I'm still trying to understand my true feelings on how I feel about this in my head. Because on one hand, obviously I love Kyrie. Phenomenal talent. However, on the other hand, Kyrie do get hurt a lot. So I'm not even sure if Kyrie going to be healthy enough to play in the playoffs. Is Kyrie going to want to play? Because that is something that's been a question with Kyrie. Do he want to play? Now, if he tell me he want to play, I'm not going to question that. I'm going to just go off of his actions after that. But nonetheless, on top of that, and Kyrie, I think is like 8th in the league in scoring. I think actually, no. I think it's 7th. Or either he averaging 27 points and 28th and is ranked one of them. Regardless, he in the top 10 in scoring, averaging 26 plus points a game. I truly believe with Luka and Kyrie, you can average a lot of points. Even though Kyrie can be a streaky shooter at times, because I don't think Kyrie is a shooter as much as he is a scorer. Just an absolute stud of a scorer. Inside, outside, 3-point, mid-range layups, finishing with either hand. Kyrie is just a pure scorer. I never at no point in time in my life called Kyrie a shooter. Like, that don't mean he can't shoot. That just means he is a absolute fucking scorer. somebody who I would call a scorer is like Clay. I know a shooter is Clay. I know Clay can score at a very good level, but that motherfucker's a shooter. He's shooting your lights out. So, but here's the thing about Kyrie. You pair Kyrie up with Luka Doncic. Now, I'm not even concerned about Kyrie and how they fit on offense. Like, one of them dribble too much and all that. Kyrie done play with LeBron. He done play with KD. He done play with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, James Harden. Kyrie know how to play with a motherfucker that dribble the ball a lot. Kyrie know how to play with dudes who ISO. Every single person I just named is ISO players. Every single one of them. The only one that I named that's not that I think is great when they change their game from an ISO game is KD. Because he went to the Warriors and had to play in that system. But then towards the end of that run, he became an ISO player again and felt like ISO playing was what ended up ultimately working for them, even though that was completely proven wrong. It's great to have that dude who can go ISO when you need him to, but to ISO for a whole fucking game, that's still insane to me that KD really think ISOing for a whole 4 quarters worth of time is the key to winning. That's why they never won in OKC. Bro, it's no way KD truly believed that. KD just smoked weed in a ball, and I respect that. So maybe that is what he thought. But KD, I disagree, my big dog. I don't think that that's possible, what you said. But that's just me. I don't agree with it. But nonetheless, when you have, just think about that though. ISOing for 4 fucking quarters, bro. You probably basically watching James Harden and all these other dudes I just named. Nonetheless, I don't agree with that. But I think Kyrie will work just fine and offensively with the Mavericks. That's not concerning to me at all. Like some people say, oh, it's only one ball, blah, blah, blah. You know, motherfuckers said that with the Miami Heatles. People said that when the Warriors got together. People said that, when KD went to the Warriors, people said that when Kyrie, and Harden was in Brooklyn. Like, I don't care about that. These is professional scorers, bro. They will know how to score. Now, what I'm interested in is something I saw Perkins say. Is Luka gonna be willing to sacrifice? Because Luka has never had to sacrifice since he done been in the NBA. A sacrifice would be sacrificing what you eat to get in better shape so that you can play a little bit of defense and whatnot. But clearly he haven't done that, and ain't nobody gonna force him to do that in Dallas because he the face of the franchise. You gonna have to sacrifice to let Kyrie be Kyrie. Now, I don't think that they'll have I don't think Kyrie will have a problem sacrificing. I don't even think Kyrie at no point in time, like I know Kyrie know he him, but I don't think Kyrie ever look at himself and like, oh, I'm better than Luka. I'm better than, like, I don't think. Maybe he did that when he was younger, but I think Kyrie is at a place where he confident and comfortable playing with, like, if he really didn't want to play, if he really was ego obsessed, it's no way he would have they would have had Harden come over. Now, ultimately it didn't work out because Harden didn't fuck with how shit was going, but it's no way you bring Harden over and you go play with KD if you obsessed with your own self. So I'm pretty sure this will work on Kyrie's end. I need to see if Luka willing to sacrifice. Because Jalen Brunson only didn't get, for one, the Mavericks should be ashamed that they didn't pay Jalen Brunson what he was asking for. But two, Jalen Brunson probably get what he asking for if not for the fact that he got to sacrifice a lot of his touches to Luka, which I understand. Listen, Luka is the superstar, but I don't watch Steph Curry and LeBron James be superstars for the better part of 2 decades. And they give the ball up all the time. They let other people shine all the time. So when Luka finally allowed that to become, him, a part of him, I think they'll be fine offensively. I don't know what they're going to be defensively. If you got Luka and Kyrie on the floor at the same time, who is them two guarding? I guess one thing to have a Trae Young on the floor and just Trae, because Trae Young is god awful defensively. To have Luka and Kyrie on the floor at the same time is like having 2 Trae Youngs on the floor at the same time. So I don't really see how that's going to work. The Dallas Mavericks could probably beat the LA Clippers right now. For some reason, Luka loved playing against them dudes. But most of these tough teams is going to be able to defend. That's also got 2 other great stars and scorers. I don't know how Luka and them boys win that. But, hey, who knows? Like, I'm confident that this will be one of the better scoring offenses. I just do not know how this is going to go defensively. And not only that, I just don't know what Luka is going to be with a Kyrie, with a dude that's like Kyrie. Because Kyrie ain't no go stand in the corner and wait for me to throw you the ball. That's not Kyrie. If that's what Luka think is about to happen, Kyrie will only be playing there for a couple weeks before he just go ahead and call it a season. It's no way that Kyrie is finna just be a stand in the corner type of player. LeBron James didn't force him to do that. KD didn't have him doing that. This have to become Luka gonna have to learn how to play with another superstar, another star player who demand the ball, who you have to give the ball to. To this point, Luka ain't never played with a single player, probably in his lifetime, where he had to give the ball up. I understand he played with grown men before. He was better than them. But since he been to the league, let's just keep it in the league, he ain't played with nobody who he have to pass the ball to and give up touches to. We understand players on his team probably frustrated with him over dribbling and all that type of stuff. And I know people like to say, oh, well, you know, he do the assist thing, even though it's more of a James Harden type of assist. And you giving me 4, 5, 6 assists throughout a 4-quarter game where I'm still watching you dribble the ball, the air out the ball far more than you actually passing it. What do the media be talking about sometimes, bro? Nonetheless, I don't see a championship in this team. But listen, the basketball season about to start for me. I'm going to be very interested to see how this thing goes. However, like I said, it's that defense that I'm worried about. I am very worried about Dorian Finney-Smith. Finney-Smith was a good defender. You no longer have him. So I'm very interested in how they, I do think Kyrie is better than, well, not I think. Kyrie is better than Spencer Dinwiddie. And if Kyrie is healthy and Kyrie is playing, yeah, the Mavericks will be a great offensive team, in my opinion. Even though Luka could struggle on nights where he can't hit his shots. He ain't getting to the basket. He ain't hitting his shots. Kyrie could struggle just because you put a big player on him. Like, Luka's still a big dude. Kyrie, if I'm throwing Kawhi or PG on Kyrie, I'm expecting to stifle Kyrie all night. I'm expecting to give Kyrie. Now, listen, Kyrie's a stud, so you could put one of them two dudes on him, and he could end up going off on him. But I trust that in a 7-game series, I'm going to have success putting Kevin Durant. I'm going to have success putting either Kawhi or PG on. So I'm interested in that. But on the other end of the floor, I'm not putting Luka or Kyrie on either Kawhi or PG. So it's just an interesting dynamic right now for me when it comes to the Mavericks. I got to see them play a couple games before I get a thorough, ironed out opinion. I want to see them play a couple games. And now the last thing, I know I talked about, we was closing the show with the Kyrie, but actually I want to talk about Kevin Durant for a quick second. Because what's next? Well, it's not going to be a second. It's going to be more than a second. But what's next for Kevin Durant? Who knows? I know it won't be staying. Yo, Brooklyn got some nice jerseys. Those white Brooklyn jerseys, like with the nets looking like it's scribbled on with pencil or something, those shits is tough. I think they Basquiat jerseys, whoever the jerseys inspired by. Those white jerseys, I'm almost certain they the Basquiat jerseys. Those white jerseys that the Nets wear this year, those shits is so hard, bro. Dead ass. Like, I almost wanted to buy a Kyrie one. Because if I bought one, it would be Kyrie, not KD. It would be Kyrie. Even though I love Kevin Durant and I think he's the better player, I vibes with Kyrie. So I would have bought a Kyrie jersey. I would never buy a Kevin Durant jersey unless it was for Golden State or if he somehow went to the Lakers. And that's no shot at Kevin Durant. I don't wear jerseys, for one. Two, I really got to like a player. Like, if I was, I start, my show blow up, start interviewing athletes, that's a whole different story. I'm going to have a room where I collect jerseys and get them signed and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just a broke young black man in America trying to get by. I'm not buying a random Kevin Durant jersey. That's just, I understand a lot of us go out there and buy jerseys. Well, here's a factoid. Some of us can't waste money. And I'm not even saying it's wasting money. Some of us just can't pony up to buy a jersey. Because I buy a jersey and I'm immediately start thinking to myself, man, the $200 plus that I spent on this jersey could have went to a lot of other shit. Like, I would need to wear that jersey every single day for me to feel like I got my worth out of it. And I'm not even that type of cheap individual who think like that, just with certain things. But I don't even know how we got off on this tangent about jerseys. Regardless, where do Kevin Durant, those net jerseys, because them shit's hard. Kevin Durant, though, You know, it's been rumored that the Celtics could make a move for him. I doubt that's going to happen because there's no way you trade him for Kevin Durant without giving up Jaylen Brown or Tatum. I'm not giving up Jason Tatum for Kevin Durant because of his age. And I would give up Jaylen Brown in a heartbeat for Kevin Durant. But I don't think that Brooklyn going to do it. I mean, I don't think Boston going to do it because if they would have done it already. Or maybe that's just not something that Brooklyn looking to accept in a package. But I don't know why you would not take Jaylen Brown. You're never getting the equal compensation for Kevin Durant. Like, that's just not going to happen. You didn't get equal compensation for Kyrie. You might think you got better compensation because you know Spencer Dinwiddie, you know he going to show up for you. So you don't really care about the talent disparity. However, you're not getting a talent like a Kevin Durant on the backside of that deal. So what you should be trying to do is to get a promising player who you can't. Like, to me, Brooklyn not pulling a trade for that Boston got enough to make a trade. I would send over Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown and some other pieces in a heartbeat. All I need is Tatum and KD, and I'll figure everything else out later. The fact that Brooklyn possibly could have not pulled the trigger on that type of trade. See, I don't like the way Brooklyn is running this team, to be honest with you. I don't like that you didn't, for one, not giving Kyrie that contract in the offseason. Listen, I get it. The different concerns that you had. But then once you basically started handling this situation in a way that could seem disrespectful to Kyrie, and I hate it when people say, oh, well, who care about Kyrie feelings? Why do y'all care about the owner's feelings every time you feel like the player disrespecting the owner? So now that the owner is disrespecting a player and his money, now you don't care. I'm not talking to that type of ignorant ass fan. But to me, once the owner started to handle Kyrie in a way where it's like, we can openly disagree with Kyrie, or what it felt like to Kyrie, he was being openly disrespected. That's when you should have traded him. Because I tell you, I say it all the time. If Lamar Jackson go back to Baltimore, I'd be shocked. Because once you do for an organization what Lamar Jackson has done, and they still choose to treat you the way that they treated Lamar this year, why would I go back? Why would I go back? And I understand as people on TV, these analysts on TV love to tell you that the best situation is the current situation you're in because they drafted you. Everybody in the league was drafted, my boy. We don't have a choice in that. So you wanting us to feel appreciative that we got drafted, that this team drafted us. Bruh, I done paid them back for that 10 times. To continuously bring that point up is such a slave forced mentality, trying to force people to think like slaves. Like, hey, I fed you today. What? Motherfucker, that's a basic human right. You supposed to feed me. So I don't like it when I hear people say, oh, they drafted him, so he owe him. No, he don't. That's just how the sports game go. Everybody get drafted. Period. Lamar Jackson getting drafted was not exclusive. Everybody else who played in the league was drafted or picked up, signed at some point in time to get their start. That's how it go. What he done after that has paid them back 10 times. Why would he ever go back now feeling as disrespected as he should feel? Why would Kyrie have ever went back to Brooklyn and wanted to stay there the long term after feeling disrespected? If a person will disrespect you once, they'll do it twice. If a person feel like, especially in this media world, in this sports world, where the media control narratives, create stories, create heroes and villains, the media will vilify you, as will owners to the media, will vilify you quick as hell. Point blank, period. So if I'm Kyrie, I don't mind Kyrie using his leverage to get out of Brooklyn. I don't mind him wanting out of Brooklyn. I saw somebody say he got to be like the worst teammate all time. I don't agree. See, it's so easy for people to always look at something. And I'm an athlete, so I used to do this too. Oh, team. But I got out of that real quick because I started to notice motherfuckers who run the team and other motherfuckers on the team don't care about team when they out there doing the shit that they doing. It's only when another man on the team need to do something that don't benefit them specifically that it started to become, oh, team. Motherfucker, if Lamar Jackson had went out there and got hurt, well, what fan was paying his livable wages from that point on? What fans was going to draw up the contract and pay him the contract he would have been worth before that injury? What player or fan is paying for Kyrie's living? paying his rent, paying for his child's upkeep, paying for his spouse, his mom, his pop. Like, who is, I understand, I didn't mean mom, but Kyrie's pops. Like, who is doing all that for Kyrie? That y'all should be concerned about, his money and things of that nature. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that's why I get irritated when fans be like, I'm mad that these players didn't play tonight because I came to the game. Who gives a fuck that you bought a ticket for the game, bro? Go try to get it refunded. See if they give a damn that LeBron didn't show up to play this game that you showed up for. Do you know how many fans around the world have to be fans of a team where they never see a superstar play unless they go on the road or somebody come into their stadium? Because this team don't have a star. Do you know how many fans can't even afford to go to games to watch these stars? But y'all think we should feel bad because a athlete had to take a day off because I see motherfuckers take days off at work all the time. All the time. Hell, I just called out for the next 2 days even though I got PTO. I'm not wasting my PTO on that shit. But it's funny how we want to, it's cool to be a human until it's an athlete because they need days off and things like that because we don't do it our job. Now, if you work in a warehouse like me, maybe you do put as much on your body as an athlete do. I don't truly think what I do is taxing on my body. I understand it's taxing on my body and nobody should be doing. You shouldn't be in a warehouse for too long, in my opinion. Especially when you lifting boxes, unloading trucks and all that type of shit, manual labor. Your body wasn't meant to be put through that for a shit ton of years. So I always feel like people in this field should make as much money as they can while also trying to heavily pursue their dreams, their careers. It's like I told this dude at work the other day. He was trying to give me some philosophical speech about how I should appreciate job and how blah, 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 and how I should go hard. And I say, bro, I'm never going to like none of the jobs I work. I'm never going to go hard for none of the jobs I work. It's a simple clock in to get my paycheck, do my job, clock out, go home. It's it. I don't take work home with me and I don't take my life into work. I'm there and I'm gone. He talking about you got to be passionate about this. And I said, no. You do that for a career, not for a job. He quickly agreed with me. So, nothing left to be said about that. But listen, when it comes to Kevin Durant, because that's what we were talking about. I know it's a long episode. I haven't done a long episode in a while. So y'all going to enjoy this one. When it comes to Kevin Durant, though, like I said, Boston not pulling that trade is ridiculous to me. Because if you really wanted Kevin Durant, and I think Kevin Durant is better than Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, it should be easy to pull that. And to me, that's been the biggest problem with the Celtics is they won't pull the trigger on young players. And I understand they finally got to the finals last year, but you didn't win it. So essentially, every chance that the Boston Celtics had to make their team a legitimate title contender by adding a legitimate superstar, they could have added Anthony Davis. They could have added a KD. They had Kyrie. It's ridiculous. Like, to me, the Celtics do not go hard enough to try to win championships now, which is why they haven't won a championship since the Big Three retired or since the Big Three won it. Like, that's why LeBron is mad at Rob Pelinka right now. Like, bro, go out and do something. We should have had Kyrie. Like, I understand that. Hell, Steph Curry should be sending that same energy to the Warriors because they've been eating off of him for the longest. And look at this year. There's no way I can have a Kyrie on my team, a LeBron on my, not Kyrie. There's no way I can have a Curry, a Kevin Durant, or a LeBron James on my team and have the records. Now, Brooklyn was doing good until KD got hurt. LeBron and Curry having to go out there and do what they do on a nightly basis just for their team to barely win games. And then for them to go out there and do what they do and still lose games. And then have to deal with these injuries and shit. Very irritating. Because them two are the two greatest players of this generation. The three greatest basketball players I've ever watched with my own two eyes is Kobe, Curry, LeBron. I ain't want to see none of them three struggle. Seeing Curry and LeBron have to deal with these lesser than teams is very irritating, actually. I don't like seeing great players lose. I don't like seeing great players go out sad. I've been pushing this narrative, LeBron to the not Celtics, to the Warriors for the longest. Who knows if that'll ever happen. I hope he consider it because he ain't winning no championship in LA, especially when AD is your secondary guy. It's no coincidence that they haven't won a championship before the bubble or after the bubble. That's not shocking. But for KD, if he ain't going to the Celtics, where did he go? I saw the Suns requested that they was pushing, not requested, but it was a report that said they're going to heavily pursue him. If I'm Kevin Durant, and I'm about to be hella biased for a quick second, I understand I love Steph Curry and everything I do. I want to see Steph Curry succeed. So my first option for Kevin Durant is to go back to Golden State. I never thought he should have left Golden State. But the ego is a crazy thing. Also, when you have a weak ego and you listen to a lot of ignorant fans, I'm not trying to throw shade at Kevin Durant, but at that time, if his ego was if he was, I don't want to say low self-esteem, if his ego was in check, if his self-esteem and how he thought of himself was in check, then he wouldn't have cared about how these fans in Golden State, who I never thought treated him dirty, they just love Steph Curry because that's who they had for the longest, then he would have never left. But, you know, Kevin Durant just smoke weed and chill. I can't get mad at that. But you already know Golden State. You already know Curry. All y'all around the same age. Why not go ahead and retire together? The Warriors could offer up, again, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins. Like, it's a Kuminga. Who the big center that they got, who I've been wishing they'd trade since they got him? I didn't want them to ever draft him. James Wiseman, which to me, to this day, I don't understand that draft pick. Because the Warriors are not a team that play with a big center like that. I understand they had Bogut and all them dudes. Them dudes understood the hell out of their role. Kevon Looney understand the fuck out of his role. To draft big man, to me, was detrimental to them and him. They was never going to use him the way, unless he immediately touched the ground and was putting up AD, DeMarcus, Boogie Cousins type numbers. Wiseman was never going to work with the Warriors because they don't even play the type of game that would allow him to just sit down in the post and dominate. The fact that now his value done been hurt so bad to where you probably can't even move him for somebody great. Now you got to try to force him to stick. Like, to me, as smart as the Warriors felt like everything they doing was, the biggest problem, and I said this last year, the biggest problem that I saw with the Warriors is it was immediate. When they tried to do this youth switch right into the old generate, like when and see, that kind of irritate me with the Warriors because Steph Curry and these boys done so much for you that you think that you can just go ahead and try to move on to the next iteration of the Warriors. Bro, you didn't build this. Yeah, you got Steph Curry, you got Clay, you got Dre. They were here before you. Okay? They the ones who actually go on the court and have to make this shit work. For you to be so ready to push them dudes out the door, at least everybody not named Curry, is a problem for me. Because your focus should not be developing Jordan Poole right now. You got a generational, once in a generation lifetime in Steph Curry, who's still giving you 30 plus a night. Why would he not be the singular focus for this team? Building around him. See, this is what happened when you become a Lamar Jackson of a team. This is what happened when you become the Pat Mahomes of a team. The difference is the Chiefs didn't get too big of themselves. This is what happened when you become an Aaron Rodgers for a team. The team start to get lazy. They start slacking. Because there's no way you finna convince me that what the Warriors did in the offseason by letting all them different dudes walk just for this youth movement. I said last year they should have traded these dudes. I said in the offseason they should trade him for Kevin Durant. Every chance I done had to trade away these young dudes, I done traded them in my mind. Because what I understand is two things. Well, one thing really, that the young and old cannot truly coexist. They can habitat, or they can co-survive for a while, but they cannot coexist and live functional, beneficial lives to oneself if they have to live in the same area. Steph and Jordan Poole, as much as you like that, what Jordan Poole, he is never going to become Jordan Poole while Steph Curry is on the floor. Rightfully so. He ain't Steph Curry. Steph Curry done earned that right and still working to have the right to be out there. You've seen the greatness in Jordan Poole. Why would you not try to move that? to get a surefire superstar over there right now that can get you more rings with Steph Curry. See, business is always thinking about the money, the money, the money, the money, the money. As if they stop making money or something. Like the fans ain't selling out these arenas every damn time they do. Like they don't host other events in their arenas. Like it ain't other ways they bringing in money. But the money, the money, the money, the money. And you fans hop on this bandwagon with them. I never understand it. But I would like to see Kevin Durant with the Warriors. I know a lot of people would rather see him with somewhere else like Boston. I saw somebody say they want to see him stay. I think it was dumbass Nick Wright who said, oh, now we know who's the true alpha. And, you're not, bro, you saying that because you don't want him to go team up with nobody where it could cost LeBron an opportunity to win, bro. This super biasness in sports is hella irritating. But listen to me. I can tell you I'm being biased because of my love for Curry. I want to see Kevin Durant go play with the Warriors. The best fit for Kevin Durant, still the Warriors. Literally done played there. I've seen the fit. Now, where could the other places be? I wouldn't mind seeing Kevin Durant end up in LA, even though they have absolutely nothing to trade for. I don't know if it's too many teams that have something to trade for Kevin Durant. The two teams that I think have the most to trade to get him is the Warriors and Boston. Also, I think Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum would be a championship level team. The only thing that can't happen is Boston can't get fleeced like the Knicks did when they traded for Carmelo. You can't give away every single role player on a team. That's stupid. But the Celtics have more than enough to go out and make a trade. You just got Malcolm Brogdon. Why is Marcus Smart still on this team? I love Marcus Smart. Great defender. Can score here and there. If I could package up him, Jaylen Brown, and some other pieces to bring over Kevin Durant, I would have done it already. So, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. But, hey, listen, I appreciate it's Super Bowl week. You know how rare it is that you're going to get an NBA episode out of me during Super Bowl week. It's very rare, but I guess I'm preparing for the NBA season. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Listen, I was looking at, before we end the episode, I was looking at one of the females that I used to, mess with. I just happened to run across. I wasn't searching her up or no shit like that. I just got to cover my bases, bro. But if you believe that's what I was doing, go right ahead. If you think I was stalking or search for it, you could go ahead and do that. But I ran across one of the females I used to fuck with on Facebook. I don't even like Facebook. I don't know why I still use it. I really don't use it. I use it to stay in touch with people, but I don't post nothing on it. But I don't feel comfortable getting on it all the time because I feel like, why get on this if I'm not using it? You know what I'm saying? So you know what? If you feel like I was stalking this female, you can freely feel that way. Because I'm starting to feel that way too. Because why am I even on Facebook when I don't post nothing? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just scrolling, reading stuff on Facebook, bro, which is not even something that I normally do. I do that on Twitter. So a completely weird night for me altogether. But nonetheless, as I'm on this site looking at this chick, this woman, she definitely got 3 kids now. She definitely built different now. And it ain't that baby fat. It's just definitely not the baddie that she used to be. And I thought to myself, and she's single, and she got 3 baby daddies. I'm not making none of that shit up. Even though I messed with 2 women who is literally, I think, in the same situation. One of them got 3, the other, no. Damn. All 3 of these women I messed with, all 3 of them got 3 children. One of them got 3 baby daddies. The other 2 got 2 different baby daddies. This is so, I never put that together. I sure know how to pick them. But listen, I scrolled past her, and so I clicked on her profile because I was thinking to myself, I wonder how she doing now. Man, I hope the love she got for them kids is what's carrying her through. I hope one of them become a football player or something. Because Ma down bad. Ma is hideous. Now, I'm not going to lie. That sound kind of mean. But you got to understand. This woman used to be a baddie. And I'm starting to realize some of the baddest chicks is the ones that's letting dudes run in and fuck they clubs up. And you get mad when you see these other hoes out here hoeing around, being able to get big off of being hoes. Well, baby, if you didn't go out there and have 3 babies to take care of, you could be out here using your beauty to hoe around and get ahead in life too. It's tough. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint, yo. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. All right? And listen. You could be anything in the world. Anything in the world. Literally. You can choose to be anything. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Choose to be nice to somebody. Choose to be appreciative of somebody today. Choose to love somebody today. Choose to be thankful for somebody today. Go out there and show somebody today that you appreciate them. Like Tupac appreciated his moms. You know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate my moms. Y'all don't love y'all mama more than I love my mama. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. But listen, with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.